Hey, Chris Bedan here. Let me show you how to Frankenkit, or stack multiple GetGood drum packs at once. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to load up your first drum pack and multi-route it inside your DAW. Now, if you don't know how to do that, on my YouTube channel, I have a few videos explaining how to multi-route inside Ableton Live and Studio One. If you go to GetGood Drums YouTube channel, you'll be able to see the other DAWs and how to go about routing them. So after you've done that, next thing that we need to do is we need to load up our second drum pack. In my case, I'm going to load up P4. So now that P4 is loaded up, the only thing that I want to use from the P4 kit is the snare. I like the way this snare sounds, and in conjunction with this snare. So next thing that you need to do once it's loaded up is hit the little eye here and change your MIDI channel to Omni. Next thing that we need to do is we need to go to settings and tell this map, which we also need to clear, we need to tell this map the exact same thing that we're telling this map. In our case, it would just be telling it the same snare, basically, the snare mapping. So I have them routed here on Modern Fusion. So I will come down here where it says snare after I cleared it. Very important. We don't want two different things playing that are not the same thing. For example, like if you have like a tom playing in the same place where like a china is, that'll just be a headache. So we would clear everything and then we add as we go. So we hit the record button. So now you can already hear we have that snare loaded up, and to verify, just go to full kit and you should see a little black dot when you hit the MIDI note. Sweet. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to go over to the snare channel inside the mixer, and we need to change these to snare, overhead, and rooms. Now the reason why I have this routed the way I do is because I essentially have them bust out here, down here. And this is my routing. So you just have kick, snare, racks, floors, overhead, and room. And so like I said, these two are being grouped to this channel here. So that's why I have these going to the same channel. So after that, you need to, since we have two snares stacked on top of each other, you're going to introduce a lot more noise. And so you need to check your levels and make sure that you're not clipping or distorting or anything like that. Usually what I do is I'll turn this one down inside Modern Fusion, and then I'll verify. So let's take a listen. Now you can do this with kick, snare, the toms, the china. If we wanted to do it, let's say we wanted to utilize this stack. So first thing we need to do is we need to go to settings, and we need to find the stack, which is here. And then we will just double tap on our MIDI keyboard. So this is how I go about programming my drums. Using a MIDI keyboard, you don't have to use a MIDI keyboard, but I actually do have a video explaining how I will go about writing drum parts and stuff. It's kind of a mixture of programming in here and using this to get a little bit more of a humanized feel. So since this is since I hit record on this, I'm gonna double tap. So now that I have that routed, or I'm sorry, I have that mapped, I come over here to cymbals, and the cymbal mixer, we find the stack. Now I don't have a dedicated cymbal track. You can if you'd like on, like, let's say channel 7, but what I do is I'll just put it in overheads, and then I'll change this to overheads and then room. So now it should be routed to the correct spot, and you'll be able to tell in overheads and rooms. So now that's basically set up as well. You can see the black dot. Now you're basically done. Two things that you need to worry about is, depending on how many drum packs you have going, if your computer can't handle it, you're going to introduce some memory issues and some buffer issues, so you're going to get some clicks and pops and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. You could also utilize the CPU scaling in each of these packs. So that's basically how you go about, combining multiple drum packs. Now, essentially what we're doing is we're taking the routing from here and grouping them into here. So from here, we're going into our DAW. And so from here, everything that you have in this output section here is going to be in here. So you can do exactly what you do when you mix and stuff like that. And that's another thing that I would recommend. I would recommend doing the drum pack stacking, the Frankenkitting at the end when you're mixing, because while you're writing, you don't need to introduce more latency by having more drum packs open and everything like that. So do this at the end when you're about ready to, when your song is pretty much finished or your riff is finished and you're basically going to get ready to start mixing. I would start to do this. Again, check your levels to make sure everything is even. And yeah, that's basically how you go about doing it. So if you guys have any questions, if it's a little bit still a little confusing for you, you could always hit me up at Instagram at chris.bedan, or you can hit up the guys at GetGood Drums on their Instagram, or in the drum forum, GetGood Drum forum on Facebook. There's a ton of people there that are helpful, very talented dudes that are always posting awesome stuff. So you can always ask there as well. But other than that, that's it. Have a great day, guys. See ya.